the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Naam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Penzi mtazamaji wa The Premier Islamic TV Station, tunakujia kwako moja kwa moja kutoka jengo la hapa Jamia Mosque, ofisi zetu za Horizon TV, ikiwa leo ni tarehe 15 mwezi wa Agosti mwaka 2019, sambamba na tarehe 14 Dhulqaada na mwaka wa 1440. Mtazamaji, karibu sana katika kipindi The Sabah Show, ukiwa nami Mariam Mwacharo, ikiwa leo ni Healthy Thursdays, lakini kama kawaida tunaanza na uchambuzi wa magazeti, nikiwa nacho kikosi changu bamba mwenyewe wengine husema, wakiwa tayari kuweza kuchambua na kudadisi maswala ambayo yameweza kuangaziwa katika magazeti yetu ya leo. Kumbuka mtazamaji, unaweza kuchangia katika gumzo letu kupitia kurasa zetu za mitandao Facebook, Twitter and Instagram @Horizontv Kenya, ama iwapo ungependa pia pale Facebook unanipata kama Mariam Kasim, Twitter Mariam Mwacharo, Instagram Mariam_K Mwacharo, na uweze pia kutuma arafa kupitia nambari zilizoko kwenye runinga yako kwa sasa. Karibu sana mtazamaji, moja kwa moja. Kwanza karibuni sana. Tuanze kabisa na gazeti la Taifa Leo. Pale habari iliyopewa kipaumbele ni kwamba atabomoa mafia wa mihadarati magenge. Waziri wa usalama wa nchi Dr. Fred Matiang'i anakabiliwa na moja ya vita vikali zaidi tangu alipoteuliwa waziri mwaka 2013 katika kupambana na walanguzi wa dawa za kulevya na magenge ya uhalifu. Na habari hiyo inasema kwamba wengi waliweza kuteuliwa kuweza kupigana na walanguzi wa mihadarati, lakini hawakufanikiwa kwa sababu hawa walanguzi wana marafiki katika serikali. Je, unafikiri waziri wa usalama ataweza?
Yeah, the Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has a past record of doing a great job. Wherever he has gone, he has done a great job. We have seen his frauds in the education sector. When he was the Cabinet Secretary, cheating he curbed, which was unimaginable. But for now, we have seen that gangs attacking Bamburi and such. We have seen drug trade has been going on. But I think the reason that we are not at where we are supposed to be right now, I think previously there has been political interference with the CS. But if he is to decide that to fight the vigilantes and the drug cartels and the gangs, I think it will be well for the country.
You think he can?
I think he can. He's all capable, because you know what happens when you have an Interior Cabinet Secretary and mostly their influence, you know, their influence from cartels, they're influenced by cartels. They are put there in place and they are under control. They are being controlled by other people. But for Fred Matiang'i, he's a man of integrity. He's a man who cannot be changed. When he decides on something, he's capable by all means. Yeah.
Do you think Matiang'i is capable?
Yes, he's capable.
This being it's a thorn. It's been a thorn in the country for so long, many years.
Vita vya mihadarati ni vita vikubwa sana hii Kenya, sababu tunajua hata kuna baadhi ya maafisa serikalini ambao many occasions they have been linked to this drug trafficking. So ni vita ambavyo waziri Matiang'i lazima aende kwa utaratibu zaidi na kwa umakini, na si tu kufuata wale ambao wanauza, bali wahusika wakuu, na pia apige darubini ndani ya serikali aweze kung'oa wale maafisa ambao wanahusika na vita hivi, kwa sababu hao ndio wanaitwa the protection kwa wale wanauza sasa pale chini. So lazima uaddress the root cause, sio the peripheries ama the symptoms. You must go to the disease itself, kwa sababu hata ukiua wale ambao wanauza huko chini, these guys will still recruit others. So you must deal with the root cause, na hiyo itamuhitaji aweze kuwork hand in hand na DCI, aweze kuwork hand in hand na NIS, so that waweze kupata like who exactly is involved in these drug issues. Because ukitazama jinsi mihadarati inayofanya vijana wetu inaharibu maisha yao, kwa sababu wengine wao wanatumia hadi they forget themselves, they cannot even be productive.
Lakini inaingiaje humu nchini?
Of course, it's through corruption. You know, at the port, we have, you know, the leaders themselves. You know, people are rich, but they do not vie for political seats to get money from it. You know, their salaries are minor to them. They get there to get the power, so that, you know, they can have control over importations and such. They can have connections, so that, because that's some politicians, that's their main income. So they are there for power, so that they can control the ports and such. So it's a very big, it's a big issue. It's hard to deal with, because, you know, you are dealing with senior people in the government. Maybe some others will be governors, maybe a cabinet secretary. So it's very difficult to say, but nothing is impossible. And from Fred, when you talk about Fred Matiang'i, I think it's more possible to him. Yeah.
He's the one who's used to be doing the impossible.
Nzuri umeuliza, madawa zinaingiaje hii Kenya? Najua tuko na anti-narcotics unit. Inafaa tuulize maswali, why are we still tackling the issue of drug trafficking and drugs finding themselves in Kenya? Kwa sababu kazi yao ni kuweza to tackle such issues, but now you find hizi agencies wakati mwingine zinakuwa overpowered with very powerful individuals in government. Na why these drugs are in this country, it is because our security structure somewhere, the architecture is not working. It has been loosed somewhere. Some people are manipulating this system to the extent that they will allow free flow of drugs. And we need to get serious as a country, so that people serve this country in the best interest. Right now, people get into public offices to serve personal interests, and this is why we are still battling with the issue of drugs. So many powerful people are linked to this thing, and we need the investigative agencies to just get serious at once and just nab people, and let's see people.
So let's see if
Matiang'i
is up for the job. Nikiangalia pale gazeti la Business Daily, they talk about the Telcom and Airtel merger, but at the bottom there's the relief as fuel prices drop for the first time in 5 months. Now there's also something very ironic that it mentions, like petrol prices have dropped for the first time in 5 months, defying a weak shilling in the country, and the new inflation tax that kicked in last month. Now the new prices offer a reprieve to motorists, but will hit families that use kerosene, whose price has gone up. What is ironical is that when fuel prices drop, we expect definitely also other products, you know, to drop in prices. But then why is it that the mwananchi ule wa chini tena anaathirika? Why can't kerosene prices just come down, so that this person who is depending on cooking with kerosene at least can be able to afford his meal a day?
I know, when we talk about fuel prices being high, it's a major problem to the country, but we do not see. About the importation of maize and such, what happens is that there is high cost of production in Kenya. So the government sees it better to import maize at a lower cost than its production in Kenya. The same with sugarcane. We have cheaper sugarcane from Pakistan that you can import, whereas when you buy a sugarcane from the farmers, it's expensive. So fuel prices affect directly our economy, but we do not see. But you know, as much as they vary, they sometimes increase and decrease. At a certain time, we had almost 16% increase in fuel prices. What happened? Our fares rose everywhere. You used to have matatu, you would go for a certain distance for 10 shillings, but the same distance right now you go for 20 shillings. Despite the fuel prices dropping from where they were, we saw no change. So in a way, the transport sector is hurting the local mwananchi. That's why you cannot feel the effect, because even if the fuel prices drop, petrol has dropped, but I can assure you, you won't see a change in the fare that you pay from where you travel. But we have discovered oil in Turkana. We hope that it will help you know, in the reduction of prices of fuel, because what happens is that the OPEC, the oil producing exporting countries, they set a certain price, and you know, the importation of it and the refining of it, you know, there are many costs that come. It may be imported at cheaper price, but you know, for the costs that come with refining and other costs in it, it rises. So we hope that the discovery of oil will not bring a crisis to the country, because that is what happens in many instances. We have external interference, you know, some maybe Western countries come and, you know, cause some crisis so that they can take away the oil. We hope it will cause a reduction.
But look at this. Look at this. I'm not persuaded the prices have come down. Because look at where we got ourselves from. The government imposed VAT on fuel. And they taxed Kenyans for a period of time. And then tried to play. You know, this government likes to play with the minds of Kenyans. They shoot prices up. And then they try to reduce so that they create an impression of reduction. But I'm not persuaded. In fact, the government is not doing enough to stabilize prices in this country. On regulation, it's doing zero work. Because look at it. If the price of
petrol,
yes, is dropping by whatever margin it is dropping, first of all, it shouldn't be where it is. The government, for 5 months, it has not brought the prices down. Even if the effect is felt internationally, but we still have a problem nationally.
Locally.
You understand?
Yeah.
And kerosene is just likely to keep going up or high because the government is trying to dissuade people from using it because of environmental concerns. But again, our government likes to propose one way and then not create a loophole on the other.
That was my next question. So what is the relief for the, you know, for the small Kenyan who is struggling to make ends meet, and if they are not supposed to use fuel, they're supposed to use gas, then how can we help this Kenyan?
They'll just deal with it, because look at the cost of a 6 kg gas cylinder. You know, it would go to maybe between 3,500 to 4,000.
So then very soon in this country we'll start going back to hunting and gathering.
Yes, we need
to
to regulate the prices of gases so that these safer alternative methods or means that the government is proposing are achievable. But right now, in the rural areas, people are still using these wood.
Yeah.
You know,
firewood.
Yes, firewood, causing environmental concerns as well.
Yes, Abubakar.
You know, it's not fair enough to completely blame the government for everything, because yes, we have the fuel prices that we have, and we cannot do anything about it. I, as a local mwananchi, cannot go to tell the government, you know, reduce the fuel prices, you have this problem. You know, if there is no alternative to them reducing the fuel prices, it's for me as a citizen to look for a way out. It's just like the other case for employment and unemployment cases. You cannot say, you know, we have unemployment in the country, so I'll just stay home and tell the government to create jobs. No, it's for you to have that, to take a step. You know, we have to go towards towards energy saving methods. We have solar, you have solar energy, we have a lot of we have windmills, we have such. So if the government finds it, or if the energy Ministry of Energy finds it expensive for fuel to be used in the country, we need to search for alternative sources. We have geothermal power, we have
my colleague is advancing.
We do not have to stick to one source of energy.
Maria,
I think we should.
My colleague is advancing a very loose and perforated argument, because the government will always do what we citizens cannot do. It is the responsibility of the government to regulate oil prices. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure that the alternative methods that they are suggesting are achievable, practical, and real. My colleague is failing to capture that in his argument. Again,
no, but he is simply saying that also citizens can take it up upon themselves to ensure that they develop in some way. Because as much as, according to him, if I get his understanding, as much as we depend on the government for development, then most times this development takes time. So we need to take up, you know, the responsibility as people, just like the way they say security starts with you.
But again, look at this. Look at this. My colleague says kerosene, you know. The government says don't use kerosene, but look at the cost of a gas cylinder, a filled gas cylinder. What is the cost?
But they solar. If a
rural mwananchi, we people from the rural areas cannot even afford NHIF 500 per month. How are we supposed to refill a gas cylinder?
Gentlemen, we'll come back to this discussion. Naona mambo sasa yashaanza kuwa moto katika studio hapa. Mtazamaji, tunachukua mapumziko mafupi. Tutakaporejea tutaendelea na uchambuzi wetu wa magazeti. Usende mbali.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show. Only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Naam, karibu tena katika kitengo cha pili katika awamu ya kwanza ya kipindi The Sabah Show, leo ikiwa ni Healthy Thursdays. Nami wako Mariam Mwacharo. Tumeanza na uchambuzi wa magazeti. Kabla tujachukua hayo mapumziko, kulikuwa na a hot debate inaendelea kuhusiana na the fuel prices, lakini hatutaendelea nayo manake hawaka kazangu wanaweza kupigana. Mtazamaji, kumbuka kwamba unaweza kuchangia katika mada yetu ama katika gumzo letu hili asubuhi kupitia nambari yetu ya arafa iliyoko kwenye runinga yako 21951, ama pia unaweza kupiga simu na vile kuchangia katika kurasa zetu za mitandao pale Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Horizontv Kenya, ama unifate katika Facebook yangu pale Mariam Kasim. Tuma comment zako nami nitaweza kuziangalia. Tunarejea, karibu sana. Iwapo unajiunga nasi basi hujachelewa, endelea kutegea the premier Islamic TV station Horizon TV. Tukiendelea pale katika gazeti la Standard, Waiguru anasema Mount Kenya is ready for Raila. Kirinyaga governor praises former prime minister as a leader who understands challenges of women and says region is not averse to a political deal with him ahead of 2022. My question is, the story continues on page 4. Do you think that Raila can actually stand another chance in the political field?
Of course, Raila can stand another chance. If it was so that 2022 Raila vies for the presidential seat, I think we will see him becoming the next president of this country. Yeah,
you don't think that his time has probably, you know, it's
not about time. We have 70-year-old Trump got into into presidency when he was 70, and so it's not about age. It's all about you know, how effective you are as in the seat that you are given. We saw it in 2013 that, you know, the older generation, maybe those who are in their 60s and so, they were advising, you know, do not vote for these young people, because when you vote for these young people, when they get there, they'll be corrupt. They will be there to gather their money so that they can have to spend in the future. So it's not about age that can limit him. And for now, the political temperature and the environment itself would harbor him perfectly, because you have you know, unfortunately, politics in Kenya is based on regions and tribes. So we have, he has a lot of support, because, you know, the majority tribes which have the highest populations, they will be in support of him, because of in the recent past, he has presented himself as a diplomatic person, as a person who can reason out, and like in the past, whereby he will oppose the government for no reason. You know, he will tell you, do not use Safaricom because for this reason. You know, the opposition was always against the government, and so we saw a kind of rift being created between those supporting the government, or those supporting Jubilee, and those supporting the opposition. But now what we have is, like, we have people who are in the same line, people headed to the same direction. We have, you know, it's like we have actually no opposition. In fact, the Kuro Court declared officially that he's the opposition leader. You know, it's positive, because you can face the challenges that you have, we can fight the challenges that you are facing together. And Raila, if he tends, or if he is persuaded by people to vie for 2022, I think he'll be the next president. And very few are for Ruto. Because it's almost sure that Ruto will vie, but very few people are in support. Team Tangatanga is very few people. So Ruto has experienced opposition, because people have perceived him, you know, rumors are not far from the truth. People have perceived him to be corrupt.
Ayiro, you're smiling. Let me, before I give the button to you so that you can comment, somebody here on my Facebook says, you know, Raila is a people person and he understands what the people actually need and want, and he is a good leader. We will definitely want him to come back.
I don't know he's speaking on whose behalf and on whose behalf as well. But I want to tell you that dynamics are really shifting. And Raila is a very, very formidable leader. I agree with that. No doubt about his credentials, about his reform agenda, about his, goodwill to this country. But again, we must appreciate that times are really changing. And the dynamics applicable in 2017 might not apply in 2022. And I just want to pass a piece of information to my colleague that do not underestimate what Deputy President William Ruto can do, because he's a very crafty and very, very sharp politician. And whenever he sets out to do something, he does it in the only way he can. And yes, the Waiguru says Mount Kenya is ready for Raila. It was ready for Raila as well when Raila supported Kibaki and Kibaki won. But we all know what happened. They again went against Raila Odinga. So we do not have any solid evidence that this time round they're going to live up to what they are saying. So I don't know who has tasked Waiguru to speak on behalf of Mount Kenya, because it is President Kenyatta, we understand, is still in charge of Mount Kenya. And until he vacates office, that's when we get somebody solid. But for now, personally, I take Waiguru's comments as personal opinion. That she's advancing, and if there are any serious or a group of people, we'll know in due course. But again, young people are really being persuaded by the candidature of His Excellency William Ruto, because he epitomizes what young people are going through. He represents the struggle young people are going through right now, because he is one person who has risen from grass to where he is. It is actually pure struggle that William Ruto has been through. And the more it looks like he's being fought, the more sympathy votes he'll get. We know in this country, Kenyans vote from their hearts. If you can be able to tap into the hearts of Kenyans, you are getting their votes. Because William Ruto will come and say, you saw what I did with Raila Odinga. Look at what he did to me. You saw how I single-handedly, it is actually Ruto who is the engine of Jubilee. Without Ruto, Jubilee will not stand.
Yeah, let me just stop you right there. There's somebody here, Peter Boga. He says Ruto ni hustler na sisi Kenyans pia ni hustlers. That is why tunamwelewa na anatuelewa na yeye ndio kiongozi tunatafuta hii nchi. Haya, sawa, let's go to another question. Let's go to another story. The APRO on the Star. APRO as big tribes dominate NHIF, NSSF jobs. Now, the story continues on page 4 and 5, and it says Kikuyu Kamba share top position in government agencies. Now, Kenya has had this for a very long time, you know, tribalism. And once you come to Kenya, most of the people even usually say in Kenya there are so many tribes, but there are only a couple, like 3 or 4, right? How do we change the dynamic of our society?
You know, the dynamics of our society, it's human nature for people to love people of their tribe. It's human nature for people to be attracted to people of they have things in common.
But doesn't that propagate ethnicity? Yeah,
it propagates ethnicity, but we can only regulate human behavior, because if it were not for laws in Kenya, people would be doing what everyone wants. People would be stealing everywhere, because they lacks that moral drive, which is positive. So I think we should also have regulations. As much as you are saying, to that gender role and such, I think we should now start with the a regulation or a legislation that determines, that in a certain government or institution that the tribes should be balanced in this manner. Because like for the county governments, you have Mandera County, the governor there has employed 25 of family members, not even of the same tribe. 25 of the family members have been given posts as directors. I don't know director of what. They have been given offices. Members of the same tribe have been, there is a lot of marginalization when it comes on to tribal basis. And we can only regulate this through legislation. There is no way out.
No, not legislation.
Through what?
No legislation. this country has enough pieces of legislation to regulate these things. It is about the public officers being true to their call of service. Because look at how our government is structured. And Honorable Musalia Mudavadi has on numerous occasions called for an audit of tribal representation. And you'll find one tribe takes more than 50% and another follows closely. And you understand, why is it that we have this marginalization in our very own country? And the threat of marginalization is retaliation. That's why you see gangs coming up, so that they are recognized. Because the legitimate way, nobody is giving a damn about them. So they have to go the deviant way, so that you give them attention.
We should just come back to our constitution.
Yes, in fact, our constitution is just okay,
but
our laws are okay.
Legislation
no, before you interrupt my point, before you interrupt this very important point, you see, in this country, we must get it right as Kenyans. In fact, we Kenyans are the problem.
So
given a chance,
what's the solution to this?
The solution is we Kenyans must now determine what is good for us. Look at the way we vote in ourselves. The way, you know, the mode we use for voting, the criteria, it will be carried on by those people. Because if I vote you, Mariam, because I come from your tribe, you're likely to advance that narrative when you get into office. You say,
so then have an audit like the way it was proposed, right?
Yes, and we get it right as Kenyans.
Let me bring your attention to another story here. Rais ataka mzozo kuhusu ugavi wa fedha utatuliwe, katika gazeti la Taifa Leo ukurasa wa 3. And we saw it in the news yesterday. The president was just saying, kama hakuna pesa. Kama hakuna pesa, hatuwezi pata pesa mahali pesa hakuna. Just use what you want. And he wants this to end so that counties, and we have seen counties can, you know, stop becoming, you know, coming to a standstill, because we have seen workers in the counties downing their tools because of, you know, fedha katika county. So what exactly should counties do?
You know,
do you think they're stalling development and, you know, devolutionary development in the country?
You know, we cannot completely, again, blame the counties. If the funds, first you have to check, are the funds enough for them? Are the funds that has been dispersed to them enough to cater for the health sector, the other sectors which have been devolved? If not, then there should be an increase by all means. Because, you know, even if you are leaving the money to the national government, we have CS, you know, taking the money into their own pockets. We have some corrupt leaders taking the money to themselves. But again, I want to express my disappointment about the president. You know, sometimes you see the president, he's saying, right now he's saying, we want this to be solved, but he is our leader. He's the leader of this nation. What is he doing? He's supposed to be the one who to bring the two houses together. But sometimes you see him complaining about corruption. Oh, this one is corrupt. Sometimes I think he should do something. He should take a step, because we are looking up to him to, you know, to be effective, and there is power in the constitution has given him power, but he does little on it, and he's complaining like a local monarchy instead of bringing the two houses together and agreeing on, you know, whether funds should be increased or what. I think, if
I may pose also a question to you, or Ayiro, yeah, you're saying that the president should do something, but don't you think that devolution actually was there so that it can empower counties?
Of course, of course.
So that you can make your own decisions.
Yes, Chapter 11 of our constitution is very, very elaborate. In fact, it's one of the strongest pillars of our new constitution. And my colleague talks about the president reigning in. The president has been very, very clear and categorical from the word go. He has told counties, hey, look, we are having a budgetary deficit, and that's the problem we're having as a country. And I wish to absolve the president on this. Look, our national debt is just going too high. What we have been giving counties in the past, little can be shown for it. More than 50% is going to salaries and allowances and those payments that don't spur economic growth and development. Look at counties' allocation to development. We have seen through audit reporting that some counties have been allocating zero funds to development. Larger monies have been going to salaries and funding, you know, paying claims that some even cannot be verified. They cannot be authenticated, but you find them paid. So what we need to do is In fact, counties, the governors need to be very, very sincere with us Kenyans. Let them show the country that these 316 billion that has been advanced to them, they can prudently manage these resources.
Yeah, and that brings me to a comment. Actually, somebody here is saying, Balozi, and most of the time, even when the counties receive monies, most of the money is usually just taken by people into their pockets. So once you are pushed, you have to swim. Counties should take charge.
Maybe, you know, they look like they don't want the money. So maybe these monies should be taken back to National Treasury, or if the money has not left National Treasury, it should remain there, because they are not serious. You must first of all take what is advanced to you before you start to, because here they are negotiating from a point of weakness. The national government is well funded. It will keep running its operations, and counties, I'm not fully persuaded they'll paralyze operations fully. That's why we have the national government. If they don't want to appropriate 316 billion, then the national government will simply take over and ensure service delivery to Mwananchi. We have, you know, the national government is a very elaborate institution that will ensure service delivery.
And so what will what will that do to devolution? You
know, devolution can work. Devolution was a good idea in all, but it's about how effective are our leaders in the county government officials. How effective are they? Hold that thought right there. How effective our leaders in the counties are. Mtazamaji, let's take a short break. We'll be right back and continue with our newspaper review this morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. On the next episode,
the singing, it brings them together, and develop some unity within them.
Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike.
You remove the sweater.
So, kuna umuhimu gani wa kuweza kuondoa sweater mwalimu?
We remove the sweater to ensure that the person is not overcrowded, to ensure he has enough oxygen and prevent any heat.
On the next episode,
na nahi ya mtume yufidu ya kuwa ikiwa mtu atafanya hivyo na amekatazwa, kwa sababu jambo ambalo lililokatazwa na Mwenyezi Mungu na mtume wake itakuwa ni jambo lisilo sawa, bali ni haram, kwa sababu ni amri. Wa ma kana limu'minin wala mu'minatin idha qala Allah wa rasuluhu amran an yakuna lahumul khiyara.
On the next episode,
wamkalishe fayakulani, ndio waseme man rabbuka, haye mola wako mlezi ni nani? Fayaqul, kwa sababu ni an-nafsu tayyiba, ni an-nafsu al-mutma'inna, rabbi Allah, mola wangu mlezi ni Allah. Fayakulani la, waseme kumwambia ma dinuka, dini yako. Fayaqulu dini al-islam, dini yangu ni Uislamu. Fayakulani, waseme ma hadha ar-rajulu alladhi bu'itha fikum, ni mwanamume gani huwa alotumwa kwenu? Huyu mtu alotumwa kwenu ni nani? Fayaqulu, aseme huwa rasulullah sallallahu alaihi
wasallam. On the next episode,
kuna wale ambao kwamba katika maeneo fulani, mimi nishaenda ziara mwenyewe, wao ndio wanajilinganisha na ukoo wa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, ndio wanafaa wawe zaidi wawe na tekeleza sunna zaidi kwa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam zaidi yetu sisi. Wao wenyewe ukienda katika makaburi zao, minara imewekwa fence, wamewekea mpaka kivuli kabisa, asipigwe na jua akiwa ndani ya kaburi yake. Wallahi ndugu yangu, unapokufa hamna lolote ili kusaidia Sheikh. Hata kaburi inuliwe juu kaa KICC, kama ulikuwa mbovu utaadhibiwa Sheikh.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama the Sabah Show. Mtazamaji, unaniona na tabasamu na cheka, manake tulipokuwa tumekwenda mapumziko bado hawa mabwana walikuwa wanapigana kuhusiana na mada zilizoko katika magazeti yetu, ndio maana unaniona bado na tabasamu. Lakini tukiendelea na uchambuzi, na nikikukumbusha kwamba mtazamaji, hapo baadaye leo katika Healthy Thursdays tutakuwa tunaangazia kidney functions, kidney diseases, and you'll be there with two doctors ambao niliweza kukutana nao earlier, Dr. Ahmed Tahir na Dr. Ahmed Sokwala. They'll be talking to us about kidney functions and kidney diseases, na kwamba kuna myth kwamba maji ya madafu husaidia sana figo, lakini tutajua je kama huu ni ukweli ama ni uongo. Na hapo baadaye mtazamaji, maeneo ya mida kama ya saa 9 hivi tutaweza kuwa na another live show special edition, manake kumekuwa na strike ya madaktari for so long. Tumeweza kusikia so many years doctors are on strike, doctors are downing their tools because of their environment, how they are operating, hawalipwi madaktari. Na hata pia katika ile gazeti, kabla nikimaliza tu, tutaweza kuangazia pia madaktari pia tumeweza kusikia Meru kule wameweza kustrike kwa sababu ya malipo. Kwa hiyo tutakuwa tunaweza kuattend ile the health forum, and we'll be coming back to you with responses from the union and the government on the way forward. Back to uchambuzi wa magazeti. Page 13 of People Daily: patients transfer to private facilities as health workers strike persists. Now, health facilities in Meru County remained paralyzed for the second day yesterday as workers sustained their strike protesting delayed salaries. The health practitioners marched to Meru County headquarters seeking audience with Governor Kiraitu Murugi as they vowed to continue with the strike. Na habari hiyo pia imeweza kuwa covered pale katika gazeti la Daily Nation on page 24, wakisema kwamba apparently the governor met the health practitioners and promised that their July salaries will be paid, and the practitioners have said that they'll call off the strike. But what's also very unique and important to note, if we look at the People Daily on page 13, is that there is actually graft that has been mentioned in the health ministry, and yet we claim that we want to attain universal health care. I mean, what's the way forward?
You know, corruption, as much as we talk about it so much in the country, corruption is everywhere. I have some Nigerian friends, and they talk about the level of corruption in their country. I bet it's not even close to what it's far apart. You know, a foreign minister has been caught with jewelry worth $42 million. That's 42 billion Kenya shillings. I mean, the level of corruption in our country, it's there, it's real. Corruption is affecting us, but it's not, we cannot overemphasize on it. Now, I think the Salaries and Regulatory Commission, because as much as we have today, the health workers in Meru have met with the governor, they have agreed on something, you know, they'll be paid. July, in fact, July salaries will be paid, but this is something that will continue forever and ever, because 2 years from now, maybe we'll see not only doctors, lecturers will strike. I think there is a problem with the salaries that people are paid. The Salaries and Regulatory Commission should have a reduction in the salaries and allowances that politicians are given. These people are being overpaid.
No, but doctors are well paid. Doctors are well paid in the country.
You know, doctors are well paid, but today they still in the newspapers. You have a deficit. You know, we have only 10,000 doctors, but we have there are doctors unemployed, and they still sometimes they strike for more pay. Maybe it's not enough for them. So it's not only for the doctors. How about the teachers? How about other civil servants who are working? The salaries are little, the taxes are high. You know, it's unbelievable. So what should happen? We should have a cut in which the politicians are given, and it should be equally distributed to other sectors of the economy, because our politicians are among the highest paid in the world, not even in the country.
In the world.
Yeah, in the world. They are among the highest paid, you know. And it's something that it's not right. It's hurting the Mwananchi, because if I have the little salary that I'm given being taxed and being given to someone who has more, I mean, it doesn't make logic. It doesn't make sense. So we as citizens of this country should push that for a reduction in salaries of the politicians, because these people are having too much. And you know, my friend here was asking how much money is enough. You see, a billionaire still gets involved in corruption, still wants more. The politicians, we cannot say they are being poorly paid. MPs are not being poorly paid; they are being well paid. But these people and the cabinet secretaries and other government officials, they are being well paid, but they'll still get involved in corruption.
Maybe if I can pose a question to you, Ayiro, if we take a look at also the Daily Nation on page 21, corruption has actually been mentioned, because they talk about a hospital, Mbagathi Hospital, on the spot for stocking expired drugs. And there was features have been covered over, you know, when drugs are supposed to be free, right? Drugs are supposed to be free when they're bought, most of them. But medical practitioners are actually, you know, said to actually take them and put them in their own chemists. So what is the way forward matters corruption, especially in the health sector? Now that it's in the big four, you know, and universal healthcare, what's the way forward?
Let me start it this way. The Cabinet Secretary for Health has just admitted that the country is in need of about 145,000 health practitioners, doctors and nurses combined.
Yes.
And my question is, how many graduates have been released into the job market last year and this year? Is the country really sincere when it says we are having a shortfall? Yet we have jobless health practitioners out there. Number two, we are not serious with our health sector. This health is our wealth, because if somebody is not healthy, then they are not likely to be productive, and that they are affecting the growth and development of this country. Our politicians, the pay they get, it is not bad to pay politicians a lot of money. It's something that I would agree with, but on
because
this,
you want to be
no. Listen to this first. Listen to this, because you can't react because I've not made my point. Look, it's not bad to pay them, but again, it has to come with some conditions. We pay you a lot of money, and that has to be reflected in GDP outcomes, because we must see life expectancy go high. We must see our health sector functioning. Our education sector must be streamlined, because we must see our GDP growth rate going high.
And so if you don't, that has been happening. We've been paying them good money, but we're not seeing any development.
With a lot of pay comes some clawbacks, you know, that if you don't deliver, we penalize you as a politician. You understand? And if you
but
deliver...
isn't that already there in our constitution, Airo?
No, the clawback is not there. The clawback is not there. Because look at our constitution. Let me ask for much leniency. If you look at the remuneration of our president when he's leaving office, the gratuities, it is not varied on the highs and lows while in office. It's paid wholesomely.
Okay.
And that is also cross-cutting to our MPs. They're given a golden handshake as they exit, noting that some of them are given that golden handshake and then they come back to parliament and then they are given back, you know. So it becomes a bad payment because somebody comes back and then they get that money again, which could be channeled to our health sector and do something significant.
I can see that you're itching, yes.
You know, what he's suggesting is unworkable. Because what are the measures that you'll use to say how this person, he was, his term in 5 years in office, we can rate him 0.7 or 0.8 out of 1 or 70%, so that you can determine how much you'll give him for retirement. What scales of measures will you use? So I think, you know, yes, you have corruption, you have such, but look again at what the criteria that we use in electing our leaders. Again, it comes down to us as citizens, because we tend to blame the politicians too much, we blame the government too much, but we are the ones who have a part to play in the ineffectivity. Because
so what should citizens do right now? Right now we are faced by a crisis. Doctors are striking. Yeah, doctors are striking. County workers are also on strike because of funds. As a citizen, as a patient, what am I supposed to do to make this situation better?
Right now, there's little a citizen can do. Because, you know, it's for the government officials, for the county governments to sit down with the health workers. It's for the national government to decide, you know, how will we increase the funds that we are given. But for a long-term solution, first, as I said, we need a salaries cut for the politicians. The Salaries Regulatory Commission need to do something on this. They need to limit the amount of the money that is being disbursed. And again, the issue of corruption. The issue of corruption, you know, corruption is something that comes, you know, we are the source of it. We are the source of corruption. Because what do we see in political rallies? If a politician is coming to, you know, say, of course, he comes with an agenda, you know, I want to build roads, schools, hospitals, and such. But you'll just sit there. They all come with the same things because they know what is affecting us. So they'll use them to persuade us to vote for them. But when they get into office, they do nothing about it. So if someone gets into office, does nothing about the agenda that the person promised, then we as citizens should not vote him for the next time. And
so we need to wait that 5 years so that we can gauge?
Not only the 5 years, I think we ourselves elect corrupt leaders because we ask for pesa za macho when they come for political rallies. So
then change needs to come from us.
Yeah, and the
first.
people, when they get into power, they want to recover the money they used on campaigns. So we are to blame.
So let me bring your attention to a rather lighter story. I know that Airo is waiting for it, but at page 28 of the Star, at the bottom there, Kakamega's 12 million incinerator to end chemical disposal. Now, equipment to support eco-friendly waste management to be launched in October. And I think this is very good news. It goes on to say the Kakamega County is putting up a modern incinerator at the county referral hospital. The 12 million facility will handle medical waste material from all hospitals in the western region and its environs. We've had problems in our medical institutions about, you know, disposal of waste and medical waste at the same time, as well as environmental degradation. And I think this is something good. And I feel like, you know, possibly, don't you think other counties should also, you know, endorse the same move?
Yeah, other counties should also endorse the same move. You know, it's all about the interest of the people. You know, these chemical waste, they're hazardous to human health. They're dangerous, and it's not only for the health sector. We have the industrial sector also.
And just recently, like yesterday in the papers, we covered that the water system in our country is very much polluted. Yeah,
the water system is polluted because of the industrial sector. They are draining industrial waste into the rivers. And I also saw today in one of the papers that they are planning to build a dam, and the dam that is planning to be built, it will collect polluted water. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So it's about collective responsibility. Let the county governments play their part when it comes to conservation. Big ups to the Kakamega county government. Let the national government, the institutions mandated with these roles, like the NEMA, put regulations on how factories or industries should dispose their waste. And now for the citizens ourselves, because the citizens, we drop garbage everywhere. We pollute the environment ourselves, and yet, sometimes we point the finger at, the factories, the industries and such. So it's an issue of collective responsibility, starting with the county government, the national government, and individual, as the citizens of this country. We need to develop, waste management habits that are positive.
Ayiro, what do you think should be actually taught to the citizens themselves in order for us to, practice good environmental health?
Yeah, we must understand that this environment is also our health, and it is our collective responsibility to do what we must do as citizens. Because if we pollute this environment, we are not only affecting the livelihood and survival of the present generation, but also putting a caveat on the viability of the environment to the future generations. We must understand that this environment is also like the mother to our livelihood, in the sense that we use it for food production. We use it for, breathing good air, and when air is polluted, it causes some respiratory diseases that are very serious and dire. So what we need to do, in fact, I give it up to my governor, Honorable Paranya, and we tell him if he brings his presidency, we'll look at it seriously. And we say, yes, tackle the issue of corruption in Kakamega County, tackle the issue of ineffectiveness, because your administration was elected to make sure that Kakamega is well streamlined. And my support is with the governor, and if he does it right, we'll always give it up to him. And if he gets it wrong, we'll point it out, point blank,
very passionate there from you, Ayiro. Let me take your attention to the Standard on page 8. There's a very interesting story. KDF soldiers unleash terror in Likoni to revenge killing. Now, Kenya Defense Forces, soldiers indiscriminately beat up residents at Mtongwe in Likoni, Mombasa County on Tuesday night to revenge the killing of a colleague. Among those beaten up were 3 police officers and a Kenya Wildlife Service ranger. The attack comes days after the charred body of a soldier, Corporal David Mwangi, was found in a disused house on Saturday. Now, many people are actually in support of this. They say that once the KDF come in and, do such measures, then security is actually improved in, our areas. Do you think that we should possibly encourage this more? Abakar, why are you smiling?
No, because I'm saddened by the fact that how can we cannot propose if the KDF are being deployed. Yes, one of them, one of the KDF soldiers has been killed, and you deploy the KDF and they go to beat up citizens. I mean, it's uncouth. I mean, it's unethical for them. I think there is a problem. It's not the first case that KDF, not only KDF.
But this is because of the gangs that have risen right now, because there's Wakali Kwanza in Mombasa, there's Wakali Wao, and now recently there's Wajukuu wa Babu and Wajukuu wa Nyanya. And these gangs are increasing. If this is the solution, then yeah, let's go with it.
This can never be a solution, because yes, it's true we have gangs, but they beat up indiscriminatory, without discriminating anybody on their way. And the same happens when KDF is, given a mission, go to West Pokot and take arms. What do? They go burn the houses, kill even cows, and, they do weird things, they burn houses, they kill people, they rape women, unfortunately, and it's not the first time. I think there is a problem with their training, because these people, yeah, there is a problem with their training.
That is serious.
These people,
Ayiro, what do you have to say about
these
that?
People are inhumane.
This is it.
They're inhumane.
Let me inform my brother a bit. KDF are trained not to handle law and order. That's not their work. Their work is to handle terror groups.
Yes.
Terror group, these are hardcore people, hardcore, and when it is a norm in this country. When you touch a KDF, they will come in solidarity with their colleague. So
in this case,
KDF are trained to pacify. They come to deal with anything on site. They come like they want to really deal with you. They come in their full armor, full gear. They're not like the police who are trained for law and order enforcement. So I I wouldn't suggest we use KDF because they'll use excessive force. You can't use a hammer to kill a fly.
Okay.
We can't use KDF. Let us use KDF to tackle Al-Shabaab and guard our borders.
So what about the terror groups? Because there's a comment here from Kid Udu, and he says, you know, KDF, if they do that, then hiyo ni sawa tu, because kama wewe ni mama ya mtoto mwenye ako kwenye gang, then you will also work hard to protect your children and the neighbors' children ukiumizwa.
The problem is, you know, when KDF come, they beat everybody indiscriminately. So first of all, we must launch investigations and get to separate these two terror groups, tudogo to vijana tudogo. Let us use, first of all, we have the GSU, that unit, very effective. Let them work hand in hand with the police, so that if they are overwhelmed, then we can use the KDF. But as of now, our GSU is not overwhelmed. We can still deploy GSU, and they'll do a very thorough job, like they did in Mumias, Matungu, those killings. You cannot hear about them right now.
Okay.
Let us not go to KDF. KDF will mishandle civilians.
I am Tazamaji. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on today's newspaper review. I'm afraid that is all the time that we have. I know we have so many discussions after this, and I know that you guys are going to fight after this over so many other stories. But well, it has come to the very last segment of our show today. Tumefikia mwisho wa uchambuzi wa magazeti siku ya leo. Hapo baadaye utaweza kuungana naye Dr. Ahmed Sokwala na vile vile Dr. Ahmed Tahir wakizungumzia kuhusiana na magonjwa ya kidney na vile vile kidney infections and diseases. And then later on, join us at 3 p.m. inshallah bi'idhnillahil karim, when we come back to you about the doctors' strike and the welfare of our doctors in the country. Today there's that health forum ambayo imekuwa ikiendelea, and we need answers. We need to find out what's up. So join me on the discussion that time later on, as well as on our social media platforms. Nakusihi usiende mbali. Please join the doctors as they discuss on kidney problems, bi'idhnillahil karim. Now, to everybody who contributed on today's program, and including headed by my producer, Muhammad Shakombo Pale, children from the sound, and everybody in the technical department, I'd like to say thank you very much. See you on the next segment, bi'idhnillahil karim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. On the next episode,
the singing, it brings them together, and develop some unity within them.
Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike.
You remove the sweater.
So, kuna umuhimu gani wa kuweza kuondoa sweater, mwalimu?
We remove the sweater to ensure that the person is not overcrowded, to ensure he has enough oxygen and prevent any heat.
on the next episode.
Na nahi ya mtume yufidu ya kuwa ikiwa mtu atafanya hivyo na amekatazwa, kwa sababu jambo ambalo lililokatazwa na Mwenyezi Mungu na mtume wake haya itakuwa ni jambo lisilo sawa, bali ni haram, kwa sababu ni amri. Wa ma kana limu'minin wala mu'minatin idha qala Allah wa rasuluhu amran an yakuna lahumul khiyara.
On the next episode,
wamkadishe fayakulani, ndio waseme man rabbuka, haye mola wako mlezi ni nani? Fayaqul, kwa sababu ni an-nafsu tayyiba, ni an-nafsu al-mutma'inna, rabbi Allah, mola wangu mlezi ni Allah. Fayaqulani lahu, waseme kumwambia, ma dinuka, dini yako? Fayaqulu dini al-islam, dini yangu ni Uislamu. Fayaqulani, waseme, ma hadha ar-rajulu alladhi bu'itha fikum, ni mwanamume gani huwa alotumwa kwenu? Huyu mtu alotumwa kwenu ni nani? Fayaqulu, aseme, huwa rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
On the next episode,
kuna wale ambao kwamba katika maeneo fulani, mimi nishaenda ziara mwenyewe, wao ndio wanajilinganisha na ukoo wa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, ndio wanafaa wawe zaidi, wawe natekeleza sunna zaidi kwa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam zaidi yetu sisi. Wao wenyewe ukienda katika makaburi zao, minara imewekwa fence, wamewekea mpaka kivuli kabisa, asipigwe na jua akiwa ndani ya kaburi yake. Wallahi ndugu yangu, unapokufa hamna lolote ili kusaidie Sheikh. Hata kaburi inuliwe juu kaa KICC, kama ulikuwa mbovu utaadhibiwa Sheikh.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo, Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chilea utapata mwana si wako. Kwa majina ni Muhammad Obura na hii ni Sabah Show.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Kwa jina nilobarikiwa nalo ni Ibtisam Jamal. Ungana nami katika Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama the Sabah Show.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show,
only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to share a story with you today. It's about a man who was talking so passionately and deeply to a group of men that people who were passing by were looking at him and wondering what he was doing. So one of them stopped and said, "What are you doing?" The man said, "I'm trying to get people to befriend Allah." "How's it going?" they asked. He said, "Allah is willing, but they're not willing." After some time, they saw the same man in a graveyard. Again, they asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm still trying to make the people befriend Allah." "How's it going?" they asked. He said, "Now the people are willing, but Allah is not willing." This story is a great example about how important it is for us to seek forgiveness from Allah. Because right now, Allah is waiting for you and me to ask Him for forgiveness. And there are 900,000 people who were alive this time yesterday but died and don't have that opportunity. And they would give their whole life and wealth and everything they own to come back to the situation you're in right now just to ask Allah to forgive you. So for that reason, today I want to focus on forgiveness. You know, the difference between a good person and a bad person isn't that they don't commit sins. The good person is the one that as soon as he commits a sin, he runs back to Allah because he realizes there's nowhere else to go. I've done this wrong, I've done this sin. The only hope is that I go back to Allah and Allah will forgive me. And the guarantee is Allah will forgive us. So we need to build this habit of going back to Allah and asking Him to forgive us. Whereas in the case of the person that's bad, he will commit sin and he will commit sin, and he will commit sin, and he'll just go through his life and he'll carry all those sins until he gets in front of Allah. So for us, we need to build this habit of asking Allah to forgive us. And the way we can do that is actually just by thinking about the things that we've done wrong, thinking about the things that Allah wouldn't be happy about, thinking about the things that we're doing right now, and then speaking to Allah directly in our hearts and saying, oh Allah, I did this thing, it was wrong, forgive me. And if you do that, Allah will forgive you, no doubt. Allah will forgive you. So we need to build this habit. And the great thing about this is that no one needs to know you're doing it. But the truth is, when we do something bad, we know the guilt we feel. We know it's wrong. So rather than just holding that feeling, go back to Allah and ask Allah to forgive you. And this is the month of mercy. This is the month of forgiveness. And if you do that now, I promise you Allah will forgive you as long as you're sincere, inshallah. Jazakallah khair for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Take Tuesday with Yusuf Farah.
800 million jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence.
Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursday with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. On today's Stay Healthy program, we will take a look at kidneys. Kidneys are bean-like structures in our body that perform a variety of tasks. Most important function is filtration of blood and urine production. The kidneys filter out all the blood in your body and help in reabsorption of important compounds back into your blood while removing excess water and toxins out through the ureter into the bladder as urine. As you eat, the kidneys continue to do this job, which means they are on permanent duty to make sure toxins do not harm our body or we do not die of dehydration. When you drink a lot of water, the kidneys detect the excess amount and channels it out as urine. Hence, urine contains toxins as well as water. But low amounts of water in the blood prompts the kidneys to release it back into the blood. Hence, you will produce urine with less water. That is why it becomes yellow, meaning you're less hydrated. Kidneys also perform other functions such as activating vitamin D, which raises blood pressure and increases red blood cell production, as well as controlling the strength of bones in your body. So drink enough water and take care of your kidneys. Now let's learn more about kidneys and kidney health from a medical practitioner.
I'm Dr. Ahmed Sokwala. I'm a kidney doctor at Aga Khan Hospital, and I deal with kidneys and the function of the kidneys as you started. So the nephrologists take care of the kidney, mainly the function of the kidney, right? And one of the functions of the kidney, or multiple functions of the kidney, are to get rid of toxins from your body. That's number one. You eat everything, and so if your kidneys are not working, there's toxins built up in your blood, and that's not good. So what I do is to see if your kidneys are okay and if they're working, and if they're not, why are they not okay, and how can I do to improve those kidneys, and the therapies necessary for adequate kidney function.
So what are some of the therapies that you perform for kidney patients? So
a kidney disease is a continuum. It's starting from mild kidney disease to moderate to severe kidney disease, and there are many causes of kidney disease. So as I mentioned, one of the functions of the kidneys is to get rid of toxins. The others is to stabilize the electrolytes in the blood, things like sodium, potassium, acid level in the body. The other thing is fluid balance. You drink, if you can even drink 5-6 liters of water, but your body doesn't swell up. because you get rid of that water in the urine. If the kidneys don't work, then all that water stays in the body, and then you get lots of trouble. So the other main function of the kidneys is to get rid of excess water from the body. The other function of the kidneys, obviously, other hormonal functions like produce blood. Okay, it secretes a hormone which produces blood in the body. The other one is also balances the calcium which is necessary for the bone. So if your kidneys are weak, then you get bone diseases as well. So those are, in summary, some of the functions of the kidney. And, to start with...
Just before you go on, you said that the kidneys also produce a hormone that produces blood.
Right.
What happens when you're told you're anemic?
Yeah, so the different reasons of anemia, okay? And one of the reasons of anemia could be if your kidneys are weak, they're not secreting that hormone which is stimulating the blood. We'll come to that in a little detail once we have covered other things about the kidney and how it gets worse. So how do you know if you have a kidney problem? Let's start with that, all right? How do you know if you have a kidney problem? If you get, as I said, the symptoms are coming out from the functions. If, for example, you get swelling in your feet, okay? That means that your body is not getting rid of the excess water. Excellent. So if it doesn't, then you get swelling of the feet, and that's one of the reasons you need to go and see a doctor, because your kidneys are not working, okay? The second reason is you're feeling tired, you're feeling weak, and that's buildup of toxins in the body. Or the other thing is if you're feeling nausea, if you're feeling vomiting, if you get a headache, and that's, the other reason why you should go and see a doctor. The other main sign or symptom is if you see blood in the urine, okay? You can see blood in the urine and see, obviously, that probably coming from the kidney, so the kidney is not working very well. Let me go see a nephrologist. Or, your urine is very frothy, okay? Frothy means that there's, that means that there's protein in the urine, all right? And the kidney is a filter, okay? It filters what is not necessary. So one thing it doesn't filter is protein, because it's necessary for your body, okay? So what happens is if your filter is damaged, there's protein leakage, okay, from the kidneys, and the urine becomes frothy, all right? That's the other thing. When you see that, you have to go and see a doctor. Okay. So what causes kidney problem? Okay, let's get to that. What causes kidney problem? The main cause of kidney problem nowadays is diabetes. Okay, diabetes causes a kidney problem, and with our lifestyle nowadays, we get more and more diabetics coming up in our population. We used to hear very rarely in this side of the world.
Why do you think that happens?
So that's because of the lifestyle. Okay, our lifestyles are very, very sedentary nowadays. You have, and all these fast food chains which are around the country. You can, you don't want to cook your natural ugali and sukuma. You just want to buy your fried and chicken and fried chips. And all our kids nowadays, you see, they're all obese, which we never heard of, before, when you had to run all around the whole day playing. Nowadays the kids are sitting on the computer or your iPhones, the phones which are just everywhere. They just play games and potato couches, and that's the reason why we get more and more diabetes, more and more high blood pressure. So more and more diabetes, more and more high blood pressure causes more and more kidney problems.
How?
That's why nowadays you've seen a lot of kidney issues coming up. You've heard, and the social media, obviously, lots of people coming up saying that they have kidney problems, they've had kidney transplants, they are on dialysis, all those. So you asked how does diabetes cause a kidney problem?
Diabetes and high blood pressure.
High blood pressure?
Yes.
So, as I said, high blood pressure affects all organs because it's pressure on the organs, just like you have a balloon, and if you pump it a lot, it busts. There's a certain capacity. So the blood vessels, just like that, in the heart, in the kidneys, in the eyes, and if your blood pressure is not very controlled, then those small blood vessels get affected, and that affects the kidney, the heart, the eyes. And the same thing with diabetes, your blood sugar is not very well controlled. The blood cells get affected, the cells of the capillaries get affected, and that's how you get effect on the kidneys.
So for somebody who's suffering from blood pressure and diabetes, what is your advice to them in matters of taking care of themselves and their kidneys?
So, perfect, very, very good question. And you know, number one is better control of your blood pressure. See your doctor regularly to make sure your blood pressure is well controlled, and take your medicines regularly. Don't miss them. Number two, better control of your diabetes. That's better control of the sugar. And obviously you can't do it alone. You need a doctor to help you do those things. All right. The other thing is to avoid painkillers which affect kidneys. Painkillers, mainly, the anti-inflammatory painkillers like diclofenac, ibuprofen, all these kind of painkillers affect the kidneys, and all these painkillers are available over the counter. Yeah. That's very unfortunate that you can easily access them, and a little pain here and there, you take them, you don't realize in the long term you'll affect the kidneys. So that's the other cause of kidney failure. So we say diabetes, high blood pressure, painkillers, and the others are inflammation in the kidney, what we call glomerulonephritis. Okay, inflammation in the kidney, and the sign of that, as I said, is the swelling in the leg, blood in the urine, and foamy urine. Yeah.
So what are kidney stones? That's very, very common.
Right. So kidney stones, as I said, one of the functions of the kidney is to get rid of electrolytes. Yes. Okay, and some people in the body. In the kidney, there's mechanisms to prevent stones. Okay, if you keep water for a very long time, you'll see some sediments forming. Yes. So, just like that, in the kidneys, the kidney, alhamdulillah, has some functions that it can prevent, formation of stones, like either acidify the urine or alkalinize the urine. Some of the electrolytes, how to get rid of them. So it's just accumulation of those, salts. In basic terms, maybe I can put them salts, like calcium oxalate stones. These are all types of salts which form. So it's mainly the reason why you get a kidney stone for the public is if you have a genetic predisposition. If your family history of kidney stones, then you're at a high risk of getting kidney stones. Number two, if you don't take adequate fluids. Guys who get kidney stones have to take at least 3 liters of water. And if they don't do that, then they'll form stones. The third thing is if you take a lot of salt. Okay? Salt in, salt out means kidney stones. All right? If you take a lot of salt, you'll get kidney stones. The other thing is a lot of protein. Okay? Beef, red meat, and those things. The other things are nuts, chocolates, but those are a little lower on the list, causing kidney stones.
So everything you should take it adequately, because for somebody who loves nuts, now they're questioning themselves, oh dear, should I take less nuts now?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, if you don't form kidney stones, then you're okay. You can take, but if you're forming kidney stones, then you should avoid these nuts.
All right, so let's take a short break, and then we'll be back on another segment to discuss more about kidney functions. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji, wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani, utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema, akasisitiza, akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kwa kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness,
ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories,
ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukubumbuisha.
Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is terrorism, no matter who is behind the trigger.
On the next episode,
wamkalishe fayakulani, ndio waseme man rabbuka, haye mola wako mlezi ni nani? Fayaqul, kwa sababu ni an-nafsu at-tayyiba, ni an-nafsu al-mutma'inna, rabbi Allah, mola wangu mlezi ni Allah. Fayakulani lahu, waseme kumwambia ma dinuka, dini yako. Fayaqulu dini al-islam, dini yangu ni Uislamu. Fayakulani, waseme ma hadha ar-rajulu alladhi bu'itha fikum, ni mwanamume gani huwa alotumwa kwenu? Huyu mtu alotumwa kwenu ni nani? Fayaqulu, aseme huwa rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Angalia Uislamu ulipoanza ulianzaje? Ulianza kwa istidraj, ulianza kwa polepole. Wewe Adam alayhi salam, si umeonyeshwa kwamba ni bora kuliko malaika? Hawa malaika wamekusujudia wewe, kwa hivyo hata ukiwa malakaini ni jambo kubwa kwa hakika, na wao wamekusujudia wewe. Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala anasema wala talbisul haqqa, musichanganye haki au kweli bilbatili, na uongo. Katika tembo kuna dhambi nyingi na faida kidogo. Ukiwa wewe unasoma Qur'ani, ni uzuri utizame katika msahafu, ufikirie yale unayoyasoma.
Qur'ani kitabu changu, Qur'ani mwongozo wangu, Qur'ani mwombezi wangu, Qur'ani pumbao langu, Qur'ani kitabu changu, Qur'ani mwongozo wangu, Qur'ani mwombezi wangu.
Lengo la kuwazungumzia wale ambao Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amewachagua kuwaongoza walimwengu ni ili sisi pia tufaidike kwa mazingatio na masomo. Je, idadi ya manabii wa Allah ni ngapi? Miongoni mwa hao manabii 315 peke yake ndio ambao walikuwa ni mitume. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ametaja manabii na mitume 25 kwa jina. Peace be upon them.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji, wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo, unatizama The Sabah Show. Today I have with me a very important person. He will introduce himself and we will learn a lot about kidney functions, kidney diseases, kidney failure, kidney stones, and how to maintain your kidneys or healthy kidneys. So welcome. Daktari, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Dr. Ahmed Twahir. I am a kidney specialist and I'm the current chairman of the Kenya Renal Association.
Some of the most common kidney diseases people face, what are they? If you can mention a few.
The most common diseases people face in the developing world are kidney diseases related to infections like glomerulonephritis. Diabetes and hypertension are very close behind, and inherited diseases like polycystic kidney diseases. There are the diseases that are common more to women than men, like lupus.
Okay.
They tend to affect the kidneys also.
And what is lupus, if I may ask?
Lupus actually is a short form for SLE, or systemic lupus erythematosus. It's a connective tissue disease. I usually describe it as the body trying to attack its own self by producing antibodies, and this tends to damage the kidneys.
Okay. We know that a lot of Muslims, especially Swahili community, have kidney problems, have diabetes problems. Why do you think it's so?
The challenge of people in the not only Muslim community but in the coastal areas is diet and lifestyle, basically. And this tends to make them gain weight, which is associated with diabetes and hypertension. And we know that these are one of the two most important causes of kidney failure. Yeah.
We have a lot of diabetes patients out there, and diabetes is on the rise worldwide. How can someone live healthily in order to maintain health for their kidneys, especially because most diabetic patients tend to fall into the pool of kidney diseases, right?
Yeah, in fact, diabetes is the commonest cause of kidney failure in the world. And one of the major challenges of diabetes is controlling your blood sugar. We know that if your blood sugar is elevated, this tends to damage the tissues in your kidney, and this causes kidney damage. So it's very important for diabetic patients to maintain a very good lifestyle by watching their diet, by watching their weight, by controlling their sugars. It's not easy, but it's possible.
Okay. Let's talk about what is the power of water in relation to kidney functions.
Water is very important because the kidneys love water. The kidneys love water because if they get dehydrated, they're going to shock, and we call this acute kidney injury.
Okay.
So if somebody gets dehydrated, let's say from excessive diarrhea, vomiting, or if they're not taking plenty of liquids, then they become dehydrated, the kidney is going to shock. And if you don't treat this quickly, the kidneys can actually shut down and you can require dialysis.
Before I come to what dialysis is, probably how many liters of water should one drink in average a day?
Ideally, 1.5 to 2 liters would be a good value to mention. However, in very hot climates, you might need to drink more. And if it's very cold, like in Europe, you might get away with less. But on average, in our environment, 1.5 to 2 liters would be a good number to aim for.
No, okay, that's great. So what is dialysis?
Dialysis is basically supporting the kidneys artificially when your kidneys are failed. So there's two major types of dialysis. The most common one that people know is what is called hemodialysis, which requires a machine to pump your blood out of your body, filter it, and then pump it back to your body, as opposed to peritoneal dialysis, which involves putting a plastic tube into your abdominal wall and infusing fluid through it, allowing the fluid to stay there for a few hours, absorbs the toxins from your blood, and then letting the fluid out. You do this about 4 times in a day. It's been shown to be quite a good method of clearing the toxins from your body. But as I said earlier, the most common form of dialysis which is practiced in Kenya is hemodialysis.
Okay, okay. So that means someone can be completely dependent on dialysis to survive?
Yeah, that's what we call chronic kidney disease, when your kidneys have completely failed, and if you don't dialyze, you will die.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a common belief about madafu, you know, now that we're in the coast, that water from that madafu helps to maintain kidney function. Is that true?
Yes, it is true. Just like any fluid, madafu is fluid, and it will rehydrate you. But additionally, what madafu has is potassium. So madafu has a high potassium content, which is also protective for the heart.
Okay.
Only caution one should have is that if your kidneys have already failed, that means your body is not able to remove extra products from your body like potassium. Now, too much potassium is dangerous for your body.
Okay.
So it's important that if you have kidney disease, then you limit or you avoid taking madafu. So now you'll ask me, then how do you know that you have kidney disease? The only way of knowing is to have yourself checked up by a doctor, because kidney disease is silent. And we must emphasize to everybody that you must have your kidneys checked at least once or every 2 years to make sure that you don't have kidney disease. Because if you catch it early, the doctor can actually advise you how to prevent you from progressing to advanced kidney failure.
Okay. Do you think we're taking our kidneys, for granted?
Yes, I think, because even if I asked you, have you had your blood test for your kidneys done, you'll tell me no.
No, I have not.
So if I ask you, how do you know that you don't have kidney disease? You don't know. You could be sitting there in front of me and actually you have kidney disease. So what we do is we emphasize to people, especially if you have a family member with kidney disease, diabetes or high blood pressure, it's very important to have yourself checked. Otherwise, by the time you know, it's too late.
Okay. Is there a requirement for age? Say, for example, if you're under 18 or under 10 years, is it okay for you to go to the doctor to check your kidneys, or is it at a particular age and above?
I think anybody who's over 18 really needs to have their health checked up regularly. As you grow older, you are likely to get more of these lifestyle diseases, so the frequency increases. So when you're young, probably less frequent visits, but you still need to have a regular checkup. But as you grow older, the frequency of your visit to the doctors has to increase.
We're coming to the end of this interview. I could just ask, is the kidney related to the urinal system, and how?
Yeah, the kidney is part of the urinal system, because when the kidneys get its blood supply, it filters it, and waste products and excess water is removed through the ureter into the bladder, and the bladder excretes it through the urethra. So that's the urinary system.
All right. We have talked about dialysis. We haven't talked about surgery in kidney. I know that now due to technological advancement and medicine has also advanced, surgery and transplantation is very easy. But there are cases whereby probably one would think that maybe a family member can give another family member a donation, but that kidney then does not function in their body. What leads to such a case?
Okay, you talked about an important aspect, transplantation. As I mentioned, dialysis is a support system when your kidneys have failed.
Yes.
And kidneys can fail acutely, where they normally recover, or they can fail chronically, where they don't recover. And if they don't recover, the best option is to do a kidney transplant. Now, a kidney transplant means getting a kidney from preferably a family member of somebody who matches you, so that it's not rejected. And we've been doing kidney transplant in Kenya now for a long time with very good success rates.
Yes.
A kidney can reject one if the match is not very good, but mainly it's because the patient is not compliant with the medication.
Okay. I think that's all the time that we have for this program. Do send your questions on our social media platforms, on our Facebook pages, our Twitter, our Instagram. Stay healthy, that's the hashtag. Ask any questions and we'll get back to you with Dr. Twahid. Thank you very much for making time for us today. Have yourself a lovely day. Till next time, see you on the next segment, inshallah. Ma'asalam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammad from Muslim Mastery, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 7 tips to discipline your inner self. Tip 1. Seek refuge from shaitan. As soon as you get a negative thought about someone, realize that shaitan is playing with your mind. Don't let him win, and instead ask Allah to protect you from him. Tip 2. Focus on the facts. When something happens that you don't understand or like, identify the facts that a fly on the wall would have seen. By taking a cold, hard look at the facts, you'll see that the situation is a lot less dramatic than you originally thought. Tip 3. Analyze your interpretation. How are you interpreting the facts? This is usually what is triggering your negative emotions. Accept that you've added this interpretation yourself and that you can choose to have an empowering interpretation instead. Tip 4. Don't make people into villains. As difficult as it may feel, let go of the idea that someone else in your situation is the enemy who is out to get you. Stop making others wrong and yourself right. Tip 5. Avoid playing the victim. By choosing to put yourself into the role of the innocent victim, you're avoiding taking responsibility for your situation. Instead, be proactive and look at what you can do to make the situation better. Tip 6. Make excuses for others. The Sunnah encourages us to think good of others and make excuses for them whenever possible. In fact, Umar radiallahu anhu said, "Do not think badly of a word uttered by your brother when you can find a good interpretation for it." Tip 7. Take responsibility for yourself. Allah has given you free will, so no matter how difficult any situation may feel, it's entirely up to you how you choose to react. Remember that the test of life is not what happens to you, but whether you deal with it in a way that is pleasing to Allah. May Allah give me and you the tawfiq to implement these tips. Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamu alaikum. Who annoys you most? How do we be around annoying people that we have to be? This is a really important question for me. And I remember being at a development course where I saw this guy who was so laid back and he was so chilled out. I mean, the way he spoke, the way he walked, the way he did everything. So I thought, you know what? This guy knows. So I went to him and I said, "You seem like a great, calm, chilled out person. Can you tell me, how do you stay like that when you're around annoying people?" So he said something which was very profound for me. He said, "I just remember that however they're behaving is about them and not me." Now I had to think about this for a second, but I realized he was absolutely right. Most of the time, when people are annoying us, it's because they're behaving in a way we believe they shouldn't. And subconsciously, we believe that it's related to us or it's our fault in some way. This, of course, isn't true, because however someone chooses to react is down to them and the choices they make. So let's take an example. Imagine that I came to you and I verbally attacked you and I abused you. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel bad, right? What if a few minutes later I come back to you and I say, "Listen, everything I just said to you, it's all about me. It's got nothing to do with you. It's because of the stuff that's going on in my life right now." How do you feel? Better, right? You feel better even though I didn't apologize. Why? Because I've told you that it's not your fault. So the way to be around annoying people is to remember that their behavior has nothing to do with you. Now, one last question before I go. If you think I'm annoying, who is that about? You, right? So the real question is, who is the annoying person? Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamu alaikum.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Welcome back, dear viewers. We are getting to learn a lot from Dr. Ahmed Sokwala. Thank you very much. Back to this particular segment. Let me ask you, I learned that maybe it's wrong or right. UTIs. Do UTIs cause kidney diseases?
So yeah, UTI means urinary tract infections.
Yes.
So, you can either have infections in the bladder or in the pipes which bring the urine to the bladder, or the kidneys itself. So if you get, urinary tract infections every so often, like, chronic urinary tract infections, and your kidneys get infected as well, yes, they can cause kidney failure, kidney disease, right?
Kidney failure.
Kidney failure, right? So as I said, the kidney disease is a continuum. So let's dwell on that, okay? What we call acute kidney injury and chronic kidney injury. So acute kidney injury is, when you get dehydrated, okay, or you get an infection, your blood pressure goes down, your kidneys don't get enough blood, and in layman's term, they go to sleep. But once you get well hydrated, you get fluids, IV, you get antibiotics if you have infection, if you have malaria, which can also cause acute kidney injury, your malaria is treated, then the kidneys start working again. You probably will require dialysis for a few sessions, okay, and then your kidneys start working again. And dialysis, what is dialysis? Dialysis is a procedure, we could say, to do the function of the kidney. Okay, as I said, the kidney clears out toxins, so the dialysis clears out those toxins, removes the water, excess water. So what happens is blood comes out from the body, goes into the dialysis machine, and goes back
into the body. So
into the body.
Dialysis basically helps the kidneys do their function.
So exactly. So because if it's one of the organs which is vital for the body,
yes.
and if it doesn't work and you don't do dialysis, and if it's necessary, then you're going to die. Okay, so there'll be a lot of abnormalities of electrolytes. Your potassium can go up, your heart can stop, or other toxins can go up, and that can cause actually death. So that is acute kidney injury. So now chronic kidney injury is again from mild, moderate, and severe. Mild is when your kidneys are weak, but with the medications you can prevent, and then you can progress to moderate. And then when you have severe kidney disease, then obviously you need dialysis. Okay, for a longer term. Because your kidneys are dead now, you'll need dialysis for a longer term until you get a kidney transplant. Okay, actually when I came into this meeting, we just finished a kidney transplant. That's why we are busy. We do kidney transplants in this hospital. So, that's an end treatment for kidney failure.
And what are some of the variants you look into when you're doing a kidney transplant? Can somebody get a kidney from anywhere, or must it be maybe a family member?
That's a very good question. So in the country here in Kenya, we only do living related kidney transplants. Okay, you have to be a family member who is alive. Okay, but outside in the other parts of the world, you can even get kidney from deceased donors, meaning you get a car accident but your kidneys are still working. You can, but we haven't yet started that in this country.
Why do you think so?
You're working on that, logistics and laws.
All right. So can a person survive with one kidney?
So again, very good question. To get a kidney, you have to get a person to give you one, and the person will remain with one, right? Yeah. People can survive a normal life with one kidney as long as they're careful with their lifestyle. Okay, but before somebody donates one kidney, we have to make sure that both kidneys are perfectly okay, and this person won't develop a kidney problem in the future, because we're going to remove one and you have one.
Yes.
We don't want two patients, right?
Yes.
So we have to make sure both kidneys are perfect, and there's a rigorous process before you can actually donate a kidney.
So what are some of the things that you look at? Do you look at the blood group? Do you look at the rhesus factor, genetic composition?
So the main important thing is your blood group should be the same. Okay? If your blood group is same, you don't have things like diabetes, you don't have high blood pressure, you don't have kidney problems, and then we do something called a cross match. Okay, that means how compatible your kidney is with the donor's kidney is with the recipient's kidney, and if they match quite well, then we can go ahead and do a kidney transplant.
Okay, so what you've mentioned about fluids in the body, talk about the power of water, because most of us are told every day, drink a lot of water, it is good for your hair, your skin, your nails, but how important is it, especially when we talk about the kidneys? Because I think now, after all this, the kidneys seem more important than the heart.
So obviously, water is important, and so drink water when you're thirsty. You don't need to over drink water, obviously, because if you drink, what the kidney will do is just go to the washroom and you pee it out. So the more you drink, the more you pee it out. So drink when you're thirsty. So I would say around 8 glasses of water should be adequate in a day. And
does it differ between men and women?
Not really. Yeah, should be the same. Unless you have things like, as I mentioned earlier, kidney stones, then you have to drink more water to flush the system, the stones all the time, okay?
Oh, okay, that is good. Talk about foods that can help us with our kidneys function better. What foods can we take? Are there fruits? Are there drinks that are, you know?
Yeah, so avoid, obviously, so balanced diet. Okay, a balanced diet is more than enough what your kidney needs. Nothing abnormal, okay?
There's nothing special.
There's nothing special. If you have a round plate, that's what I advise my patients especially. Half of it make salad, quarter of it make protein, and quarter of it make carbohydrate, which is very difficult for us, but we should follow that. You know, you just fill the whole thing with carbohydrates usually.
Yeah.
So if you do that, then you know that's a less burden for the kidney to get rid of all those toxins which you take, and obviously avoid fizzy drinks, which are not very good for the kidneys, like carbonated drinks.
Like soda.
Yeah.
Let's talk about people who smoke, who drink. Are these people more prone to kidney diseases? What are the effects they bring to their bodies in relation to kidney functions?
So of course, I mean, people who smoke and drink are more prone to kidney disease. That's a true statement. If you smoke, you're more prone to heart diseases, you're more prone to kidney diseases, because what happens is your blood vessels get affected when you smoke. Okay, when those blood vessels which take blood into the kidney or the heart are affected, obviously those organs will complain. If you take alcohol, the same thing, the liver gets affected, the kidneys get affected as well. So avoid, if you have kidney trouble, avoid alcohol and smoking. I mean, for our religion, you should avoid both of them, obviously.
Lastly, dialysis is very expensive. Why do you think it is?
So we are very lucky, actually. The government has, if you have NHIF, has accepted to pay for dialysis. So if you have NHIF, dialysis is free of charge for you.
Free of charge for anybody with NHIF.
That's right. So I think it's a good thing which the government did recently. Dialysis is expensive because you need the machine, you need the consumables. One session of dialysis in a good hospital would cost around 10,000 shillings.
10,000. Well, thank you very much, Daktari. On the very, very last now, I remember there was a time my uncle had a kidney problem and he was told to take more of madafu. Do you know what is in the coconut water that is important for the kidney?
So that's actually a misconception for other kidney the different types of kidney problems, as we have discussed. If you have kidney stones, right, madafu is good for you. But if you have kidney failure, madafu can kill you.
Oh.
Yeah, because madafu has high content of potassium.
Okay.
Okay, and one of the kidney's function is to get rid of potassium. So if you drink more potassium, potassium goes up, and that stops the heart. I actually had a patient who had got that information and went out there and drank 5 madafus, and next day he was dead.
Oh my.
Right. So you know, you have to ask your doctor what you're taking before you take it.
That is very important to know. Thank you very much, Daktari, for your time. Please see me next time. Do send your questions on our social media pages and the number down here, and we'll be getting back to you. Probably I'll meet you again, Daktari, because I think there's a lot more we need to enlighten people on kidneys. Thank you very much. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
On this segment, let us take a look at the habits that destroy your kidneys. Number 1, reduce intake of painkillers. Painkillers are not good for you, as the good doctor just told us. Doctors warn that excessive consumption of painkillers reduces blood and deteriorates the functioning of the kidneys. Number 2, drink enough water. You're putting your kidneys at risk if you do not drink enough water. Number 3, don't keep your bladder full for a prolonged time. When you prolong urinating, it can create pressure in the kidneys, also called hydronephrosis, which could result to renal failure. Number 4, do not consume a lot of salt. Salt contains high amount of sodium, which always needs to be expelled by the body. In high amounts, it could put your kidneys in stress. Number 5, do not consume too much proteins. Too much of something is poisonous, even foods like proteins. Number 6, stay away from too much caffeine and carbonated drinks. Too much coffee, chocolate, soft drinks and energy drinks causes high blood pressure, which puts a strain on your kidneys, over time leading to kidney failure. Finally, quit smoking. Smoking increases blood pressure and heart rate. It can accelerate the dysfunctioning of the kidney and worsen kidney diseases. Now take good care of your kidneys and stay healthy. Till next time, ma'asalam.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day.